The great hall of the Galactic Council was quiet. 500 beings from across the stars sat watching. No one moved. No one spoke. In the center of the room stood Ambassador Taho Kim, the human representative to the council. Across from him stood Supreme General Ixlos of the Vraxian Confederacy. The Vraxian was tall with blue-gray skin and 4 arms. His upper arms held a golden box. "Human," Ixlos said, his voice deep and formal. "The Vraxian Confederacy has decided. The peace between our worlds is over." He opened the box and took out a scroll made of thin metal. The lights in the room caught the shining letters carved into its surface. "After 3,000 years, we declare war on humanity." Taho took the scroll. He read it slowly. The council members waited for his reaction. Some expected tears. Others expected anger. Many expected fear. What they got was a laugh. It started small, just a smile at first. Then it grew into a chuckle. Finally, Taho threw back his head and let out a full, deep laugh that echoed through the hall. The Vraxian's face changed color from blue-gray to dark purple. "You mock our declaration of war?" he asked, his voice shaking with anger. Taho wiped a tear from his eye. "I'm sorry," he said, still smiling. "It's just, your timing is really bad." "What do you mean?" asked Ixlos. "Nothing, nothing," said Taho, putting the metal scroll in his pocket. "I'll let Earth know right away. Though they might find this as funny as I do." The Vraxian growled, a sound like rocks falling down a hill. "The might of the Vraxian fleet will darken your skies within the month. You will not laugh then." Taho smiled again. "We'll see." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On Earth, in the tall Defense Command building in New Seoul, Commander Juwoo Park got the message from Taho. She read it on her screen, then laughed just as hard as he had. Her staff looked at her with confusion. "Commander," asked her assistant, "is something wrong?" Juwoo showed them the message. "The Vraxians have declared war on us. After 3,000 years of peace treaties and trade agreements, they want to fight now." "But why is that funny?" asked a young officer. Juwoo stood up and walked to the large window that looked out over the city. In the distance, she could see the great research center where Earth's best minds worked. "Because their timing couldn't be worse," she said. "They think we've been getting weaker. They think we've been taking apart our fleets and weapons because we're soft. They don't understand what we've really been doing." She turned back to her staff. "Get me Director Minja at the research center. And call Admiral Heijin too. It's time to show them Project Shield." On her screen, another message appeared from Taho. "What should I tell the Vraxians?" Juwoo thought for a moment, then typed back. "Tell them we accept their declaration, and tell them to bring all the ships they have. They're going to need them." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In the Vraxian command ship, orbiting their homeworld, Supreme General Ixlos reported to the High Council. "The humans laughed at our declaration," he said. "They show no fear." The oldest council member leaned forward. "Did you expect fear? We have watched them for centuries. They take apart their warships. They turn their weapons factories into schools. They are weak." Ixlos wasn't so sure. "No one laughs at war unless they know something we don't." "It doesn't matter," said another council member. "Our fleet is ready. Our soldiers are ready. In 3,000 years, humans have forgotten how to fight. We have not." Ixlos bowed and left the chamber. As he walked to his quarters, he couldn't forget the sound of the humans' laughter. It wasn't the laugh of someone afraid. It was the laugh of someone who knew a joke that you didn't. Admiral Doyam Lee stood in the center of a room full of aliens. 7 different species from friendly worlds had come to ask questions. They were all worried. "Admiral Lee," said the tall, thin representative from Proxima Centauri, "we do not understand. The Vraxians have the largest fleet in 3 sectors. They have been building weapons for centuries. Why does Earth not ask for help?" Do-Yun smiled. "We thank you for your concern, but there is no need for worry." No need. The representative's voice went high with surprise. The Vraxians have declared war. Yes, they have, said Doyan. And we find it interesting. The alien from Ta City leaned forward. Humans are strange. You take apart your ships. You turn military bases into parks. Now you face war, and you say it is interesting. Doyan walked to a small table and poured himself a cup of water. Let me explain something. The Vraxians think we have been getting weaker. They see us take apart old ships and think we are giving up our strength. Are you not? Asked another alien. No, said Doyan. We are not giving up anything. We are changing. What looks like weakness to the Vraxians is actually transformation. The room was quiet for a moment. Then the Proxima representative asked, what kind of transformation? Doyan smiled again. You will see soon enough. The Vraxians will see too. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In her office in New Seoul, Director of Intelligence Gina Choi read the latest reports. Something was not right. Why would the Vraxians choose now to start a war? She called for her best agent. Sunwoo, I need you. The door opened, and a man in simple gray clothes walked in. He looked ordinary in every way, which made him perfect for spy work. Yes, Director. Sunwoo asked. The Vraxians have declared war after 3,000 years of peace, she said. I need to know why now. What changed? What are they really after? Sunwoo nodded. Where do I start? Their High Council has a new member, Krozek. He pushed hard for this war. Find out what he knows that the others don't. How do I get close to a Vraxian High Council member? Gina handed him a small chip. This will get you onto their home world as a trade representative. The rest is up to you. Sunwoo took the chip. When do I leave? Now. We don't have much time. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In the research center, Commander Ju Park walked with Director Min Jae-yoon through a large open room filled with strange machines. Is it ready? She asked. Min Jae nodded. Project Shield has been ready for 50 years. We just never had a reason to use it. They stopped in front of a large glass wall. Behind it was a small silver cube sitting on a table. That's it? Asked Ju. That's what will stop the Vraxian fleet. This is just the control unit, said Minja. The actual system is much bigger. How big? Minja smiled. It covers the entire solar system. Juwoo's eyes went wide. The whole system. And it works. Yes. We've been testing it for decades. Nothing gets through unless we want it to. Juwoo looked at the small cube with new respect. The Vraxians think we've been getting soft because we took apart our old ships and weapons. They don't know we did that because we found something better. Exactly, said Minja. Old weapons became useless once we perfected this. Why build ships with guns when you can make it impossible for anyone to hurt you? So what do we do when they attack? Asked Juwoo. Minji's smile grew wider. We let them try, and then we show them why we've been laughing. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On the Vraxian command ship, Supreme General Ixlos received the first reports from their scout ships. The humans have done nothing, said his officer. No ships moving. No weapons charging. No alerts. Nothing. They must be doing something, said Ixlos. No one faces war without preparing. Maybe they have accepted defeat, suggested the officer. Ixlos shook his head. No, the human laughed. That was not the laugh of someone who has given up. He stared at the star map showing Earth's solar system. There's something we're not seeing, something they know that we don't. What should we do, General? Ixlos thought for a moment. Continue with the plan. Send the first attack fleet to their research outpost in Ta City. Let's see how they react when we destroy something valuable. But even as he gave the order, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was missing something important. Something that would explain why the humans just laughed at the threat of war. The human research station in the Ta City system was big. It had 4 large rings that spun slowly around a central tower. 200 scientists lived and worked there, studying the nearby stars. Admiral Heijin Kang was visiting the station when the alert came in. "Admiral," said the young officer at the communication desk, "we have 100 Vraxian warships entering the system. They will reach us in 20 minutes. Everyone in the control room turned to look at Heijin. They expected her to call for help or order an evacuation. Instead, she nodded calmly. "Thank you for the information," she said. "Activate Standard Protocol Sigma." The officer looked confused. "Protocol Sigma? But that's just—" "I know what it is," said Heijin. "Do it." The officer pressed a few buttons. Protocol Sigma activated. "Good," said Heijin. "Now, would anyone like some coffee? I think we have time before our visitors arrive." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On the lead Vraxian warship, Commander Zoltan watched the human research station grow larger on the view screen. "They have no defenses," he told his crew. "No weapons, not even a shield." "Perhaps they didn't get a warning about the war," suggested his second-in-command. "No," said Zoltan. "They must know. But they do nothing. It's like they don't care that we're here to destroy them." As the Vraxian fleet surrounded the station, Zoltan gave the order. "All ships, open fire." 100 Vraxian ships fired their most powerful weapons at the human station. The energy beams shot through space toward their target. And then something strange happened. About 100 meters from the station, all the energy beams just stopped. They didn't hit a shield. They didn't bounce off. They simply vanished, as if they had never existed. "What happened?" demanded Zoltan. "Where did our weapons fire go?" "Unknown, Commander," said his weapons officer. "It's like the energy was absorbed by nothing." "Fire again. All weapons." The fleet fired again. And again, their weapons fire disappeared before reaching the station. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Inside the research station, Research Director Min Ji-yoon felt his tablet buzz. He looked at it and saw a notification. Energy absorption field active. 1,247 terajoules contained. "Ah," he said to Admiral Heijin, who was sitting across from him, drinking coffee. "The Vraxians are here. They've started firing." Heijin nodded. "How much energy have they wasted so far?" Minji checked his tablet again. "Enough to power New Seoul for about a month, and they're still firing." "Should we say hello?" asked Heijin with a small smile. "I suppose that would be polite," said Minja. He tapped his comm unit. "This is Research Director Min Ji-yoon of TAV City Research Station to Vraxian Fleet. Please be advised that you are interrupting an important quantum stability experiment. Your weapons fire is being safely absorbed, but the energy signatures are affecting our readings. Could you please stop? We'd be happy to offer you refreshments while you wait for our experiment to conclude." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On his ship, Commander Zoltan stared at the communication screen in shock. The human was asking them to stop firing and offering refreshments, like they were honored guests instead of an attack fleet. "They're mocking us," he growled. "Sir," said his science officer nervously, "our scans show that the station is completely unharmed. But more than that, all the energy from our weapons has vanished. Not reflected, not absorbed into shields. Just gone." "How is that possible?" asked Zoltan. "I don't know, sir. It defies all known physics." Zoltan's comm unit beeped. It was Supreme General Ixlos. "Report, Commander. Have you destroyed the human research station?" Zoltan swallowed hard. "No, General. We can't. Our weapons have no effect." "What do you mean, no effect?" "The humans have some kind of technology we've never seen before. They're not even acting like they're under attack. They've invited us for refreshments." There was a long silence. Then Ixlos said, "Return to base immediately. We need to rethink our strategy." As the Vraxian fleet turned and left, Zoltan couldn't help wondering, what kind of civilization laughs at war and offers their attackers drinks. Sun Wu moved quietly through the dark halls of the Vraxian High Council building. He wore the skin suit that made him look like a Vraxian. It was uncomfortable, but it worked. No one had stopped him so far. He came to a large door with strange markings. This was Councillor Krozak's private office. The door was locked, but Sun Wu had tools for that. In less than a minute, he was inside. The office was large and filled with old weapons and battle flags. Sun Wu went straight to the computer on the desk. He plugged in a small device that let him get past the security. Then he began searching for information. At first, he found nothing unusual, just normal reports and messages. Then he found a hidden folder. Inside were messages from someone called the Voice of Dorsai. Sun Wu read them carefully. "The humans are weak now," said one message. "They have taken apart their warships. They have no weapons. This is the perfect time to attack." Another message had pictures of empty human shipyards and closed weapon factories. "See, they are not ready for war." Sun Wu copied all the files. Then he noticed something strange about the pictures. They were real, but they were also old. Some were from 20 years ago. The Voice of Dorsai was giving Krozak old information and making it look new. But who was the Voice of Dorsai? Sun Wu searched deeper and found a hidden video message. He played it. The screen showed a being unlike any Sun Wu had seen before. It had gray skin and 6 eyes. It spoke in a strange voice. "The humans must be attacked now before they get stronger. Tell your leaders to act quickly. We will help you defeat them." Sun Wu copied this too. Then he quickly left the office. He had to get this information back to Earth. The Vraxians hadn't decided to break the peace on their own. Someone else, these Dorsai, had tricked them into it. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. On Earth, President Hyesu Kwan stood before the United Nations of Earth. Screens around the room showed the failed Vraxian attack on the Ta City research station. "For 3,000 years, we have kept the peace," she said. "Not because we feared war, but because we had moved beyond it. The Vraxians don't understand what they're seeing. They think we're weak because we don't build warships anymore. They don't realize that we don't need them." She pressed a button, and a new image appeared on the screens. It showed a small silver cube, just like the one in the research center. 300 years ago, we developed Project Shield. It doesn't stop attacks. It doesn't block energy. It simply makes it so that energy weapons cannot work within its field. The laws of physics themselves are changed. The room was quiet. Everyone knew about Project Shield, but no one had ever seen it used against a real attack before. "We haven't been getting weaker," said President Hyesu. "We've been growing in ways the Vraxians can't understand. We don't build weapons that destroy. We build technology that makes destruction impossible." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Supreme General Ixlos watched the recording from the Ta City attack for the 10th time. He still couldn't believe what he was seeing. "How can they just make our weapons stop working?" he asked. No one had an answer. His communication screen lit up. A message was coming in from Earth. It was from Ambassador Taho Kim. "Supreme General," said Taho, "we would like to suggest a meeting. There's something you should know about why this war started." "What do you mean?" asked Ixlos, suspicious. "You were given false information," said Taho. "You were tricked into declaring war." "Tricked? By whom?" "A race called the Dorsai. We have proof, and we think you're not their only target. They want both our civilizations to fight each other and become weak. Then they plan to attack us both." Ixlos felt cold. Could this be true? Had the proud Vraxians been used as tools by someone else? "I will meet with you," he said finally. "Show me this proof." As he ended the call, Ixlos wondered, if the humans knew they were being tricked, why didn't they just say so? Why let the war begin at all? The answer came to him suddenly, and it made him deeply uncomfortable. They wanted the Vraxians to attack. They wanted to show what they could do. And they had been laughing because they knew exactly how it would end. Intelligence Director Gina Choi sat across from Strategos Morvax, the head of Vraxian intelligence. They were in a neutral meeting room on the moon. On the table between them was a small device showing the files Sunwoo had found. "These are fake," said Morvax, his forearms crossed over his chest. "You made these to trick us." "No," said Gina calmly. "Your counselor Krozak was tricked by the Dorsai. These messages are real. Why should I believe you?" Gina touched the device, and a new image appeared. It showed Sunwoo in the Vraxian Council building, finding the files. "This is proof. My agent was there. He found these files in Krozak's private computer." Morvax's skin changed color slightly. "Your spy was in our most secure building." "Impossible." "Not impossible. Just difficult." Gina looked straight at Morvax. "But that's not what matters now. What matters is that both our people are in danger. The Dorsai used you to attack us, but that was just step one of their plan." Morvax was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, "If these Dorsai tricked us, why did humans not simply tell us? Why let us attack?" Gina smiled. "Would you have believed us without proof? We needed to let their plan start so we could show you the truth." "But there is still one thing I don't understand," said Morvax. "Why do humans not take this war seriously? Your people laugh. Your stations offer us drinks when we attack. Why?" "Because we have known about the Dorsai plan for years," said Gina. "We have been watching them watch us. We just couldn't prove it to you without letting them make the first move." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Deep in space, far beyond Pluto, a fleet of strange ships waited. They were Dorsai warships, hidden in the darkness. On the main ship, Commander Xil watched a screen showing the Vraxian attack on Ta City. "The Vraxians failed," said his second-in-command. "The humans have some kind of defense we didn't know about." Xil made a sound like stones grinding together. "It doesn't matter. The Vraxians have done what we needed. They started the war. Now both sides will be busy fighting each other. They won't see us coming." "When do we attack?" "Now," said Xil. "Send the first wave against the Vraxian home fleet, then prepare to hit Earth." The Dorsai ships began to move, coming out of their hiding places. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. General Junho Kim stood in Earth Defense Command, looking at a large screen. It showed hundreds of Dorsai ships moving toward the solar system. "Right on time," he said. "They think we're distracted by the Vraxians." "Should we warn the Vraxians?" asked his assistant. Junho nodded. "Director Gina is already doing that. The question is, will they believe us in time?" He pressed a button on his control panel. "This is General Kim to all SHIELD stations. Prepare for Level 1 activation. The real attack is coming. All around Earth, and at key points throughout the solar system, hidden stations powered up. They were part of a network that had been built over centuries, waiting for this moment." Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. In the meeting room on the moon, Gina Choi's device began to beep. She looked at it, then at Morvax. "It started," she said. "The Dorsai are attacking your home fleet. They think you're busy fighting us." Morvax stood up quickly. "I must warn my people." "There's no time," said Gina. "But we can help. We have a defense system that can protect your ships, if you'll let us." Morvax looked suspicious. "Why would you help us? We declared war on you." "Because that's what the Dorsai want," said Gina. "They want us fighting each other so they can destroy us both. We need to work together." Morvax was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. "What do you need me to do?" Gina smiled. "First, call Supreme General Ixlos. Tell him to order all Vraxian ships to follow these coordinates exactly." She handed him a data card. "Our defense system will only work if they're in the right places." As Morvax made the call, Gina contacted Earth. "This is Director Choi. The Vraxians are with us. Activate Operation Umbrella." The trap was set. Now they just had to see if the Dorsai would walk into it. The Dorsai attack caught the Vraxian reserve fleet by surprise. 1 minute, the Vraxian ships were in normal patrol formation. The next, 50 Dorsai warships appeared and opened fire. The first shots hit 3 Vraxian cruisers. The ships exploded in bright bursts of light and metal. The Vraxian commander shouted orders, trying to get his ships into defense position. Then his communication officer called out, "Sir, message from Supreme General Ixlos. We are to move immediately to these coordinates." The commander looked at the coordinates and frowned. "That will put us in a tight group. We'll be easy targets." "Those are the orders, sir. Top priority." The commander didn't understand, but he followed orders. He sent the new coordinates to all his ships. The Vraxian fleet began to move, even as the Dorsai kept firing. 3 more Vraxian ships were hit before they reached the coordinates. Then something strange happened. A shimmering field of light appeared around the Vraxian fleet. When the next Dorsai shots hit this field, they simply stopped, just like what had happened at the Ta City research station. On the lead Dorsai ship, Commander Xil stared at his view screen in shock. "What is happening? Where did that shield come from?" His weapons officer looked up from her console. "It's not a shield, sir. It's the same technology the humans used. Our weapons aren't being blocked. They just stop working." Xil slammed his fist on his chair. Impossible. The humans couldn't have given this technology to the Vraxians so quickly. Then a new ship appeared on their sensors. It was human-made, small and fast. It stopped near the Vraxian fleet, but outside the protective field. A message came through on all channels. It was Admiral Heijin Kang. "Dorsai vessels, this is Admiral Kang of Earth. Your weapons will not work here. We have extended our defense field to protect the Vraxian fleet. Your attack has failed." Xil hissed in anger. How did they know we were coming? How did they have time to prepare? *****. In the Earth Defense Command Center, General Juno Kim watched the situation on the big screen. The Dorsai fleet had stopped firing at the Vraxians, but they weren't retreating yet. "They're confused," said Juno. "They don't understand what's happening." His assistant nodded. "Should we tell them?" "No," said Juno with a small smile. "Let's show them instead. Activate the anchors." All through the space around the Dorsai fleet, small devices that had been hidden for years suddenly turned on. They created a network of energy that froze the Dorsai ships in place. The ships couldn't move forward or backward. They couldn't turn. They were stuck. On the communication screen, Ambassador Taho Kim appeared. He was with Supreme General Ixlos on a Vraxian ship. "General Kim," said Taho, "the anchors are working. The Dorsai fleet is trapped." "Good," said Juno. "Tell the Vraxians they can move their ships out of the protection field now. The Dorsai can't fire at them anymore." Commander Xil tried everything to free his ships. Nothing worked. They were trapped in space, unable to move, unable to fire their weapons. "This is impossible," he said. "How did the humans do this? How long have they been planning this?" His communication officer looked up. "Sir, we're getting a message from a Vraxian ship. Supreme General Ixlos wants to speak with you." The screen lit up, showing Ixlos. Next to him stood a human, Ambassador Taho Kim. "Commander Xil," said Ixlos, his voice cold. "You tricked the Vraxian people into breaking our peace with humanity. You fed us lies about human weakness. You wanted us to fight each other so you could attack us both. But your plan failed," added Taho. "We've known about your intentions for years. We've been preparing for this moment." "Your ships are now held by our spatial anchors," said Ixlos. "You cannot move. You cannot fire. You cannot escape." "You have a choice," said Taho. "Surrender now or stay trapped there forever." Xil stared at the screen. For the first time, he understood why the humans had laughed at the declaration of war. They hadn't been afraid. They hadn't been surprised. They had been waiting for this all along. 2 days after the Dorsai fleet was trapped, representatives from Earth, the Vraxian Confederacy, and the Dorsai Command met on a neutral space station. The mood was tense. General Junho Kim led the human team. Supreme General Ixlos represented the Vraxians, and Commander Xil, who had no choice but to attend, spoke for the Dorsai. "Let me make our position clear," said Junho, standing tall at the center of the room. The Dorsai attacked without cause. They manipulated the Vraxians into breaking the 3,000-year peace with us. They planned to destroy both our civilizations. Xil hissed, "We did what was necessary. Humans have become too powerful. Your technology threatens all other species." "Technology that we use only for defense," said Junho. "We haven't attacked anyone in 3,000 years. Ixlos stepped forward. "The Vraxian Confederacy withdraws its declaration of war against humanity. We were deceived. We see that now." Xil made a sound like breaking glass. "Weak. The Vraxians are weak. The humans have made you soft." "No," said Ixlos. "They have shown us a better way. War is not strength. True power lies in making war impossible." Junho nodded to an aide who handed him a small device. "It's time to show you what we could do if we wanted to fight." He pressed a button. On the large screen at the front of the room, an image appeared. It showed the solar system, with Earth at the center. Then thousands of small dots of light began to glow. They were everywhere, forming a network that covered the entire system. "This is the Helios network," said Junho. "We built it over the last 200 years. Each of those points is a field generator." "What does it do?" asked Ixlos. "Watch," said Junho. He pressed another button. The dots of light connected, forming a web of energy. The web grew brighter and brighter until it covered everything. "The network is now active throughout the solar system," said Junho. "Within this field, no energy weapons will work. No ship can move without our permission. No communication can happen unless we allow it." Phil stood up, angry. "You can't do this. You're trapping our people." "No," said Junho. "We're giving you a choice. Right now, the network only covers our solar system, but we could expand it. We could send generator ships to every system in the galaxy." "You would control everything," said Xil. "We could," agreed Junho, "but that's not our way. We don't want to control. We want peace." He turned to face both alien leaders. "We're offering you something better than war. We're offering you the same technology we use. Defense that makes attack impossible." Ixlos looked surprised. "You would share this with us, even after we declared war?" "Yes," said Junho, "because that's what humans do. We grow. We learn. We share." *****. The meeting ended with a temporary agreement. The Dorsai would retreat to their own space. The Vraxians would help ensure they stayed there. And humans would begin sharing their defense technology with trusted allies. As they left the station, Ixlos walked next to Junho. "I still don't understand something," said the Vraxian. "If you had this technology all along, why didn't you tell us? Why let us declare war?" Junho smiled. "Would you have believed us? Sometimes people need to see for themselves what is possible." "And the laughing?" asked Ixlos. "Why did your ambassador laugh when we declared war?" "Wouldn't you laugh," said Junho, "if someone threatened to attack you with a weapon that you knew couldn't hurt you? It would be like a child pointing a toy at a soldier." Ixlos thought about this. "I think I begin to understand humans a little better now." "Good," said Junho, "because this is just the beginning. There's so much more we can learn from each other now that we're not worried about war." As their ships departed the station, the Dorsai washed with anger and fear. Their plan had failed completely. And now they faced something worse than defeat. They faced irrelevance in a galaxy that was moving beyond war. 6 months after the failed Dorsai attack, leaders from 27 different alien civilizations gathered on Earth. They met in a large, beautiful hall with tall windows that showed the blue sky and green trees outside. President Haisu Kwan stood before them, next to Supreme General Ixlos of the Vraxians, and, surprisingly, Commander Xil of the Dorsai. All three were about to sign a new peace treaty. 3,000 years ago, said President Haisu, her voice clear and strong, humanity made a choice. We decided that war was a problem that could be solved, like any other problem. Not through more weapons, not through fear, but through changing how we think about power. The alien leaders listened carefully. Many had traveled for weeks to be here. We realized that true power isn't the ability to destroy, continued Haisu. It's the ability to make destruction impossible. We didn't get rid of our military. We changed it into something better. She pressed a button, and a small silver cube appeared on a stand next to her. It was a shield generator, like the ones that protected Earth and had saved the Vraxian fleet. This technology makes energy weapons useless. It changes the rules of war. And today, we're sharing it with all of you, not just our friends, but also those who once wanted to fight us. She looked at Sil, who stood stiffly but nodded in agreement. The Dorsai have agreed to join our peace, said Haisu. They've seen that there's no future in war anymore. Not when we can simply make it impossible. Supreme General Ixlos stepped forward. The Vraxian Confederacy was proud. Too proud. We thought strength came from having the biggest fleet and the most powerful weapons. We were wrong. He looked around the room. Real strength is what the humans showed us. The strength to share power instead of hoarding it. The strength to laugh at war because you found something better. Commander Xil spoke last. His voice was rough, but his words were sincere. The Dorsai have been warriors for 10,000 years. Change is difficult for us, but we can see which way the stars are turning. If we can't fight, we must find new ways to be strong. The three leaders signed the treaty. As they did, people all over Earth and on thousands of alien worlds watched on screens. It was a new beginning. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Later, at the celebration dinner, Admiral Doyan Lee sat next to Ixlos. The two had become something like friends over the past months. You know, said Doyan, there's one funny thing about all this that no one has mentioned yet. What's that? Asked Ixlos. We were about 5 years away from offering to share our defense technology with everyone anyway. Ixlos's eyes widened. Really? You would have given it freely? Of course, said Doyan. What's the point of having a way to end war if you don't share it? You could have just asked. Ixlos was quiet for a moment. Then he made a sound that Doyan had never heard from a Vraxian before. It was a laugh. That is funny, admitted Ixlos. We spent centuries building weapons to fight you. All that time and energy wasted. Not wasted, said Doyan. Without the Vraxian threat, we might never have developed the shield technology in the first place. And without the Dorsai trick, we might never have found a way to share it that everyone could accept. Across the room, Taho Kim raised his glass in a toast. To peace, he said, not the peace of fear or balance, but the peace of making war obsolete. Everyone raised their glasses. Even Sil joined in, though it clearly felt strange to him. As the celebration continued, humans and aliens talked and laughed together. The stars outside the windows seemed brighter somehow, shining on a galaxy that was taking its first steps beyond war. Asterisk, asterisk, the end asterisk, asterisk.